Hiking slowly through many peoples and towns, Zarathustra returned the long way to his mountains and his cave. And then, unexpectedly, he also arrived at the gate of the big city. Here, however, a foaming fool with outstretched hands leapt toward him and blocked his path. And this was the same fool whom the people called Zarathustra's ape, because he had memorized some of the phrasing and tone of Zarathustra's speaking, and also liked to borrow from the treasure of his wisdom. The fool spoke thus to Zarathustra. "O Zarathustra, this is the big city. Here you have nothing to gain and everything to lose. Why do you want to wade through this mud? Have pity on your feet. Spit on the city gate instead and turn around. This is the hell of hermit's thoughts. Here great thoughts are boiled alive and they're cooked till they're small. Here all great feelings rot. Here only tiny rattlebone feelings are allowed to rattle. Do you not already smell the slaughterhouses and kitchens of the spirit? Does this town not steam with the reek of slaughtered spirit? Can't you see those souls over there hanging like limp, dirty rags? And they even make newspapers out of these rags. Don't you hear how the spirit here turned into wordplay? It vomits dirty dishware water. And they even make newspapers out of this water. Zarathustra, they hurry each other and don't know where to. They heat each other up and don't know why. They jingle with their tin, they jangle with their gold. They are cold and they seek warmth in distilled liquors. They are overheated and seek coolness in frozen spirits. They're all sick and addicted to public opinion. All lusting and malignancy are at home here. Oh, but yes, here there are also virtuous types. Yeah. There is much effective and affected virtue. Much effective virtue with scribble fingers and hard sit-and-wait flesh. Blessed with little stars in their chests and padded fannyless daughters. Oh yes, there is also much piety here, and much devout spittle-lick quacking and flatter cake baking before the God of hosts. From on high, the star trickles down, and the merciful spittle, every starless chest longs to get up high. Oh yes, the moon has its farm, and the farm has its moon cows. And the beggarly people and all effective beggarly virtue pray to everything that comes from the farm. I serve, you serve, we serve. So begs all effective virtue to the prince, hoping that the deserved star will finally cling to the narrow chest. But the moon still revolves around all that is earthly, and the prince still, too, revolves around what is most earthly. You know Zarathustra. He revolves around the gold of the shopkeepers. The God of hosts is no god of gold bars, the prince says. Ah, yes, but the shopkeeper, he's the one who disposes. By all that is bright and strong and good in you, O Zarathustra, spit on this city of the shopkeepers and turn around. Here all blood flows tainted and tepid and frothy decrepit through all veins. Spit on the big city, which is the big scum trap, where all spumy crap spumes together. Spit on this city of broken down souls and narrow chests, of prying eyes, of sticky fingers. On this city of the obtrusive, the insolent, the pencil necks, the roughnecks, the overheated and ambition-eaten. Where everything that is crumbly, corrupted, lusty, dusky, overly mushy and pussy festers together confederately. Spit on the big city and turn around. At this point, however, Zarathustra interrupted the foaming fool and clapped his hand over the fool's mouth. "Stop at last!" cried Zarathustra. "Your speech and your ways have nauseated me long enough. Why have you lived so long near the swamp that you yourself had to turn into a frog and a toad? Doesn't tainted and frothy, decrepit swamp blood flow in your own veins now, since you have learned to croak in this way? Why didn't you go into the woods or plow the earth? Isn't the sea full of green islands? I despise your despising. And if you warned me, why the hell didn't you warn yourself? Out of love alone shall my despising and my warning bird fly up, but not out of the swamp. They call you my ape, you foaming fool. But I call you my grunting pig. By grunting, you will yet spoil my praise of folly. What was it, after all, that made you start grunting? That no one flattered you enough? So you sat down to this garbage in order to have reason to grunt a lot? In order to have a reason for a lot of revenge? Indeed, all your foaming is revenge, you vain fool. I guessed you well. But your fool's words injure me, even when you were right. And if Zarathustra's words were right, even 100 times, you would always do wrong with my words. Thus spoke Zarathustra, and he looked at the big city, sighed, and kept silent for a long time. Finally, he spoke thus: I too am nauseated by this big city, and not only by this fool. Here as there, nothing can be bettered, nothing can be worsened. Woe to this big city. And I wish I already saw the pillar of fire in which it will burn. For such pillars of fire must precede the great noon. But this has its own time and its own destiny. Meanwhile, you fool, I give you this lesson in parting. Where one can no longer love, one should pass by. Thus spoke Zarathustra, and he passed by the fool and the big city.